Hi, let's discuss about how do we apply the styles in React.js. So in React.js, if you want to apply the styles, there are a couple of options available. The first one is inline styles, and the second one is CSS style sheets, and another one is CSS modules. Let's talk about inline styles. In the inline styles, we are going to define the styles directly in the JSX using the style attribute. And this CSS styles are specified in the camel case. For example, if you want to apply the font size, font hyphen size in the CSS, you will be applying with the font size in the camel case. And the inline styles are more advantageous when you want to apply the styles to the component based upon its state values and property values. And it is very advantageous for simple and when you want to apply these styles that are specific to a component. And the inline styles are scoped to the component in the sense whatever the styles you are trying to apply, they are scoped to component. Means for example, if you have a login component and a dashboard component, if you have defined the inline styles at the login component, they are reflect only for the login component and they are not available for the dashboard component. And the advantage is if you want to apply any styles to scope to only login component, we are not unnecessarily polluting the global namespace. Whereas if you want the same style to be available in the dashboard component also, you end up doing the duplication of those things. In that case, inline styles are the not recommended approach. You should actually choose the CSS style sheets, which we are going to talk about in our next session. Okay, so as I said, if you want the same style to be available in the login component and dashboard component, if you choose the inline style to be an option, you end up duplicating those styles. Okay, let's go and try to discuss about how we are going to apply the inline styles. We'll create a component called a simple my component, and in this case, if you see, we have defined a JavaScript object called as inline styles, which has a color, font size, padding, and background color. If you see the font size, if it is a CSS, we are going to specify it as font hyphen size, whereas here we are trying to specify it as font size. So the main difference is instead of specifying the styles in the CSS file where we can specify them as a JavaScript object, the only reason is that hyphen syntax like font hyphen size, background hyphen color, or instead of specifying that fashion, we will be specifying it as font hyphen size, background color hyphen background hyphen color. So that's the main difference. And then after that, we are going to specify style and we are going to apply the inline styles over there. So let's go to our Visual Studio Code and try to demonstrate this example. So we'll create a new folder called as styles, and let's go and create a new component, my component.js. So you can define the component name as whatever you want, but otherwise make sure that it follows the title case. So what should we do is let's go and try to define the my component here, and this my component we're going to define as the, so yeah, let's go and try to define this. So let's define inline styles first. Yeah, we are going to return the statement, and in this case let's go and try to define the inline styles over here. That is constant inline styles, and we can define like, okay, we can define color red. So now we can define a couple of these size, like for example, we have specify the component size, font size, sorry, and we can even specify the padding, and we can even specify the background color. Yeah, so these are the options we can specify. And again, when you want to really apply the styles, you need to specify the style attribute and specify the inline style as an option. So at the runtime, these JavaScript styles, advanced styles are converted to the typical CSS styles and apply. So let's go and try to run our example. Yeah, so once it loaded into our browser, we should be able to see the styles that has been applied. Okay, so we need to go and import the styles which I have defined my component into our app.js. Let's go to app.js, import the my component. Okay, my component. So the reason, yeah, we have not exported this component. That's the reason it is not showing as an import statement. Let's go to import, export that component and specify it as my component. And let's go and specify in our app.js as a part of the rendering. I'm going to comment the previous vendors. Yeah, let's go and try to define the my component.js, and if you see here, yes, we're able to see our component has been rendered with the inline cells applied. If you go and inspect and focus on that specific component, you can go and inspect this, and if you go here, you can see on the right hand side, when you select, so you have the font color. Yeah, you can go and specify the styles that has been applied over here. If you see, this color has been for this color, so whatever the styles were specified in the inline styles, so they have been converted, like font size of the camel case converted to the typical font size style, and border border color, sorry, border radius and background color which has been specified as a camel case has been converted to the typical css styles over here. Let me quickly show that how we are trying to apply the styles here. If you observe, if you go to our component, if you see there's font size in a camel case, background colors in a camel case, and this is typically a JavaScript object. We have the comma as a separator, whereas at the end it is converted to the CSS with a semicolon, semicolon, and border radius. It will be converted as a border hyphen radius. So this is the inline styles. So inline styles is the first option that is available in the React JS to apply the styles. So is this always a recommended practice to use the inline styles? No. So like whether it is inline style, CSS styles, is global styles, this all depend upon your use case. We cannot define which is right and wrong. So if you want the styles to be specific to a component and you don't want that to be polluted across the global namespace, inline styles are the right choice. Whereas in other scenarios, yeah, inline styles are not the right choice because it may end up in the duplication.